Okay, hello guys. Today I'm gonna show you how to use page layout in Excel. So this is the graph that you will get as a template. First, we have to go here to page layout, and the first thing that you can do is modify the themes, the colors, and the fonts of the graphs and the page. So as you can see here, if we click, for example, this theme, everything changes. But you can also change the color of that themes. For example, if you want it kind of blue, and the fonts, for example, if we don't want the one that we're using, like that, for example. So basically you can customize everything. Another thing that we can use is margins. Usually you will get it as normal, but for printing you can go here and select the centimeters that you want from the page to the graph, from the border of the page to the graph. So for example, if we put 2.9 centimeters in the top and 2.9 in the bottom, then the graph is going to be very centered. Also, if it's a very long graph, you can put horizontal center on the page, but this one is not a very long graph, so, or maybe yes, we can try as horizontal. And you, after you do all of that, you put OK. Next, we can see the orientation of the page that we want. If it's a vertical text, it is better to use a portrait, but you can also use landscape. As you see, not a lot of things can be seen here because we're editing everything to see it later on the print section. So later I will show you how it will look like. So size, this is the size that you want the graph to be printed out as, and like in the page that you want it to print out as. Usually every printer should print this one, letter 8.5 times 11 inches, but if you want to print it in a smaller size or in a bigger size, you can also change it. So next we pass to print area. This is like when, first of all, you have to select, print area means that you have to select what you're going to print. So if we're just going to print this, you just go to print area and you select it. But we just want to print all the graph. So we select all the graph, print area, set print area. This means that this graph is selected to be printed when we're going to print. If I just selected budget, the only thing that was going to be printed out was budget. And if I just selected the data, the only thing that was going to be printed out is the data. Also, a very cool function is the breaks. So when you go to breaks, you can insert a page break and move it wherever you want. So for example, you move this page break here, which means that the thing that we're printing is this is gonna be a page, and for example, it is gonna go until here. So this is gonna be printed as a page. So if you put random text here, this is gonna be printed as a second page. So, for example, also another cool thing that goes perfectly and matches with the themes and colors in the layout is the background. So you can click on background and you come here, and from your desktop or documents or pictures, you can select anything that you want to select as a background for the whole spreadsheet. But it is not usually very like used in Excel. Something very like the most important thing for me is the page setup. That is when you like set up completely everything. So there before we saw everything in detail, but now here in page setup you can set up everything. For example, the landscape and portrait that we saw before in the orientation tab, you can select it from here. Then the margins that we saw before here in margins, then the header and footer. Here you can, for example, put, when you go to header and footer, you can put header, and you put any of these costumes ones that are here, for example, my name, page, and the date, so it will appear like this. Or if you want, you can just put costume, and yeah, just put, if you don't want to put, for example, page number, you just put date. See, and in the bottom you can put page. So when you print, in the top left is gonna appear my name, in the top right the data, and in the bottom center page number. So after you finish with this, you can, for example, you can click on sheet, and here you can select like the print area that is gonna, like what is going to be printed, if you want to see the grid lines or not, black and white, that is not very used anymore, the quality, and like the row and column headings that we previously selected. So after you're done with all of this, you just press OK, and you won't see any change here as I told you, but right now I will show you how it looks like. So here on the scale part, you can see width and height. This is to select how many pages wide you want your graph to be and how high you want it to be. Usually you just want to put automatic for both, as it is much easier for Excel and the print area to select it than you just do it. So passing on and moving towards to grid line and headings, you see how both view options for grid line and view options for headline are selected. So what happens when I unselect the view for headings, you see how we don't see this anymore. The rows and columns, we don't see them anymore. So this means that they won't be seen. Like, you don't want them to be seen. But if I put print, this means that when I print it, it is going to be seen. So I recommend you to use view only, as it is as it is much easier to recognize like a column and rows. And for grid lines, the same. You don't want to print something where you see the grid lines completely. So this is, if you unselect print, like here, if you select it, this means that these grid lines, all of these grid lines that we see, are going to be seen when we print them out. If you unselect it, they won't. So this is how it was going to look when you print it out. So pretty much this is what page layout works for, is like setting up everything for printing. After you're done with everything, you just want to go to page layout and like format everything for a clear printing. So to preview, you just want to go to file, print, and after all the modifications that we've done, this is how it should look. You see how here is my name, the date, the header and the space and center that we used. So after you're done with all of that, you can just print it.